So I'm heading off towards Top Withens through Warcola today. Unlike last time, I've not brought with me a massive pop-up tent. I've brought with me possibly my favourite rucksack I've come across so far. So stick around and I'll catch you in a bit. Dominating the landscape above Warcola is the Atom Panopticon. I'm just taking a short breath here and then I'm carrying on my journey down this road over here. So I will catch you in a bit. The rucksack that I brought with me today is the Turkish variant of the Alice pack. Now, there is other videos on YouTube who have complained that the straps dig in after a while, but other than pulling a little bit on steep inclines, I've not faced any real problems so far. They're going for about 30 quid online without the frame, but with a frame, they're an extra tenner or so. Awesome piece of kit, I highly recommend them. There's loads of room. I'll go into greater detail about it once we reach Top Withens, but until then, see you in a bit. So I've finally made it up to Top Withens. Last time I was here, I was camped out at a rocky outcrop just over the hill in the back of this building. But tonight I'm in this little bothy type area. As you can see, people have stayed here for many years, scraping the names into the walls, writing them in marker pen on the new rafters that have just been fitted. I don't know if you can see it there, but someone stayed here 2nd of the 1st 26. Another one there for 2nd at 1st 26. Looks like they had a New Year's celebration here or something. Right, well, time to get a brew on, and I'll see you shortly. So while I'm making my tea, I just thought I'd introduce you to this little find that I made in Dorset last year. It was at the Mountain Warehouse store. It should have been £30, but they had like this little discount area by the till. I don't know if it was like a last season stock or something, but I managed to pick this up for £3. I was quite impressed. I've labelled it up with mess, so just in case someone I camp with in the future may accidentally drink it, just as a label, bit of health and safety there. Vegetarian barbecue beef flavoured noodles for tea, and then for breakfast in the morning I'm going to have a Wayfarer veggie breakfast. So I'm all tidied up from having my tea, and I thought I'd introduce you to the pack that I've brought with me tonight. It's the Turkish variant of the all-purpose, lightweight, individual carrying equipment pack, or Alice pack for short. It's an American concept that was released on the 17th of January 1973. The American version is approximately 65 litres, but it only has 3 external pockets. The Turkish version has 2 extra drawstring pockets on either side that are perfect for 1 litre bottles. Now, the front pockets are held on with press studs and then cinched down with this buckle here. These 3 pockets here. The top of the bag has this Alice webbing that can hold molly pouches. I've tried it in the past and it's worked perfectly. Now, if you just bear with me, I'll just turn it around and I'll show you the back. Be right back. Now, this is the rear side of the bag. As you can see, the straps are held in place with a buckle and cinch system. And on one of the straps, there is a quick release system. Just there. I've held it in place with zip ties, more of an experiment, because that area was quite rusty. So those zip ties are there just to see if when I get home there's been any movement in that area at all. Now these straps are what other YouTubers have complained about. These pads are actually really quite hard, and as I mentioned earlier, if you're walking up inclines for any length of time, they can start to pull on you. The bag pulls down onto you. But I have brought with me a little Temu sternum strap here, which has alleviated that issue very slightly. Yeah, these straps, I've seen videos on other YouTubers who have removed these completely and replaced this area with the American frame. So they've had to alter the flaps underneath by cutting them out slightly, because by the looks of things, the American frame is ever so slightly wider, and so they've had to make room in this area for it. It's attached in by this flap here, and also these little attachment points on the corners at the bottom. The bag itself is approximately 45 litres, but as you can see, I've managed to bring loads of stuff with me today. I have brought a few dry bags just to get a little bit extra more room in there. But yeah, right. That's a little bit about the pack I brought with me. Now to get my sleep system out for the night. Catch you in a bit. So this is the sleep system that I'm using tonight, and I'm trying something a little bit different. Although I am using the same sleeping bag that I used at home with Wood, instead of my usual inflatable mat, I am using a military issue folding mat. Now, it's more of a thermal barrier than anything else. As you can see, it's very thin, but I didn't want to risk popping my inflatable mat on the wooden rests that are here. Now, I'll see how I do tonight. I've got plenty of hand warmers, and I think somewhere in my bag there's a sleeping bag inner, so I should be all right for sleep and comfort tonight, but we shall see. Right, I'm going to get some soup and then it's time for bed, I think. I will see you in the morning. Good morning, everyone. I've had a brew, I've had the vegetarian breakfast, so it's time to get ready to mosey on down the trail. But before I go, I've got something I want to show you. It's something I mentioned earlier last night, and Yeah, so bear with me a second, I'll just sort myself out. So last night I mentioned how you can fit a molly pouch onto this little bit of webbing here. And although this pouch is a little bit big for this bag, for display purposes, it'll do just the job. Now, the way that you fit the pouch onto the webbing is really simple. You just get the straps, feed it through the webbing, and then fasten with your press studs at the bottom. This bag itself, this little pouch, is a first aid kit. At the moment, it's more of a boo-boo kit. I've just got some plasters and some bandages in it, but there's loads of room. There's all sorts of little compartments in it. And the way it works is you unfasten the buckle here, and at the back, I don't know if you can just see it there, there's like a Velcro strip. And then once this buckle's undone, you can take the pouch and remove it from your bag without having to faff around with removing the press studs and what have you. You can then take that pouch and deal with an incident if necessary. It will cost about £4, maybe £5 from Temu if I remember correctly. Lots of space, lots of additional molly webbing on it. A little bit of kit, nice little bit of kit there. So I'm in the process of leaving no trace. I've packed my rubbish away and also some other stuff that I've found lying about. I've got my electrical stuff to deal with in a moment, but before I do that, just got a couple more interesting bits of information regarding this bag. Because of these long straps that hold the top flap in place, they come out of those little loops there, and you can feed a sleeping bag or tent through them, and then the straps can then go back through that little loop, and you can cinch down and hold in place a tent or a sleeping bag. I'll post a photograph better showing what I'm talking about here when I get home. It's also got two little loops at the bottom there and just around there. You can just about see it. It's a little bit tricky, but you can fit and attach a mat of some description, a folding mat. Again, I'll post a photo here showing greater detail. Right, it's time to finish packing away and so it's just before 10:25. I'm back home now, and I thought before I pack everything away for next time, I go through the kit that I brought last night and see what worked, see what didn't, and see what was quite weird, to be honest. So bear with me a second. So first things first, the pack, it held up pretty well. The quick release system is still in place, which is quite amazing really, because as you can see it's quite rusty. But I did go at it with some emery boards and a little bit of metal cleaner before I set off, and that's when I put the zip ties in place. So we'll see how long that lasts. The only downside to the pack is the straps themselves. They do dig in. It is perfect for if you're just going to be travelling a short distance, but if I do a lot of walking when I go camping, so I'm going to try and look for something with a similar layout that's slightly smaller and also has better padding on the straps. I think I have found something in a local second-hand shop for a couple of quid, but it has quite a lot of work that needs doing to it, so expect to see that in a future video. This little waterproof bag was a godsend last night. I could put all my electrical equipment in there and have it on charge safely. On the way home I had it slung over a shoulder so I could put my phone on charge. Great little bit of kit. I think it were £3 from Temu if I remember correctly. Somewhere around there. The sleep pad was a bit of an experience, but it does pack down small. Compare this to the other folding sleep mat that I bought. Yeah, that is the mat that I mentioned last night that you can, using these little Velcro straps, feed them through those little loops and carry it underneath, although you will probably need a little bit of paracord just to secure it a little bit better. Here's the inside of the first aid kit. As you can see, lots of elasticated straps to put things on, lots of pockets. Yeah, it's a pretty cool piece of kit. Better look at the Velcro back. You just tear off the pouch and you're good to go. Before I found this in Mountain Warehouse, I was using little plastic bottles to store my liquid fuel in. But this holds enough for a couple of meals, which is great. Perfect for overnighters. And finally, the weird experience of the night. Even though everything was charged up fully before I left, the headlamp and one of these cob lights completely died out after like 5 minutes. Now, I was a little bit freaked out there. So, yeah, essentially for the rest of the night, I had light coming from this little pound shop torch and a couple of candle lights and one of these. So I'm going to have to look at these in greater detail. I'll put them on charge and then see what's happening. Right, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.